Hey, what's going on, you guys? Man, this is definitely a review that I'm sure not a lot of you expect. And hey, I will say I don't know how frequent of I'm gonna get these. I will get into like why and everything like that and my connection to these characters, but um, it is different. Like I said, I don't know how frequent it's gonna be, but let's get right into it. Today, I am reviewing the Jada Toys Street Fighter 2 Ultra. Um, Ken. So as you can see, now this is a background that you can take out. I just haven't figured out how to best like take this plastic off yet, but I also don't necessarily need to. So there it is. Looks like a cool retro arcade. There's some characters on the side, other characters on the other one, and also details, which is country of origin USA and all that stuff. Back you got a picture of the figure and some other characters from the game. And I don't know if they've made every single one now, but I know they've made like a huge chunk of these, so which we'll get into everything here in a second. So let's get him standing straight up and down. Hopefully he'll stand. There. Okay. Okay. So, well, here he is. So I will explain some brief things. I'm gonna be very selective with the series because these guys are standard like $30. Um, so I'll get that right off the bat. Uh, as per connection, well, I'll admit I don't have the strongest connection to Street Fighter, and I'm sure some of you will immediately tell, "Hey, didn't that trailer for the movie come out like just recently?" Yes, that is definitely an influence in this decision, but it is not the only influence. I want to make that very clear. Um, I have played the Marvel vs. Capcom collection on the Nintendo Switch. Um, and of course, I have seen Street Fighter throughout my life. I haven't necessarily played all the games or anything like that. I don't know a lot of the lore. I know bits and pieces here and there. Um, I know, I've seen them throughout my life. And then, of course, I know it through Marvel vs. Capcom stuff. Which is the other that honestly that was the first reason why I thought about getting any of these is because it would be kind of cool to do like Marvel vs. Street Fighter or X-Men vs. Street Fighter or Marvel Superheroes vs. Street Fighter, then do those type of displays. And we'll definitely do comparisons of that later. The second reason, or the next thing I want to get into really quickly, is why Ken first? Why didn't I try to get Ryu or something like that? Well, first of all, they weren't at my store. Obviously, I'm coming into this line pretty late. Um, and second of all, Ken is actually my favorite character. For whatever reason, he was like when I played Marvel vs. Capcom and stuff like that, he was like the first one that kind of like that I really, really liked. Uh, so I'm not going to get into any of the lore or anything like that in this video. I'm not, because partially because I only know a little bit of it. I started researching it more because I've always meant to, especially after playing Marvel vs. Capcom, and now it's like, well, I might as well if the movie and stuff is going to start getting hyped. Um, so, but I'm not going to mention any of it because I definitely don't really know a whole lot, and I don't want to get any of it wrong. If you guys have any tips or anything like that, please let me know. I will say that some of the characters I'm hoping to get are, of course, Chun-Li, Cammy, Ryu, probably M. Bison, and there's a couple others, but those guys for sure, because, I mean, they're the ones that, even though I don't know a whole lot about it, those are the ones that I know that I've like seen throughout my life. So, But again, I don't know how frequent I'm going to make this, because I've got a bunch of other lines, or like 3 other lines that I'm collecting mainly. So this is not a main line, but still. Anyway, let's take a look at him. Well, actually, let's do the accessories. Now, he doesn't come with these hands out of the package. It was 2 fists, I believe. But he comes with a fist and a... You can use this as kind of an open palm, maybe striking hand, but of course it's for the Shoryuken. I'm hoping to remember the name of that correctly, but yeah. Or a Hadouken. Hadouken, I think. I'm so sorry. But of course he comes with the same hands for the opposites. So, he also comes with an alternative head, which this will probably be my display one. I just haven't changed it because I wanted to do a review first. I say that with already have changing the hands, but of course there's 2 other accessories. He comes with the Hadouken effect piece, which is very cool, and the hands are sculpted in there, which I think is really cool. And it's got a... Yep, there's the peg hole at the bottom, and there's a little stand. Now I'm going to see if the stand works for like certain, like if I can pose certain figures on it potentially, but obviously, you know, I found the best way to balance this is doing this. So you can make it seem like he just did the move and it's coming at you or going towards somebody or something like that. So let's take a closer look at him. I mean, it's pretty. It's a pretty basic idea, martial arts, outfit, stuff like that. There is an actual name for it, but all of a sudden I'm misremembering the name, and I apologize for that. As you can see, there's a lot of texturing. You have the belt here, sculpted muscle striations and details all over the body. There's even a little texturing on the kind of these grips, I guess you would call them. I'm sure they got an actual name. You see the fingernails. The face looks good. I mean, it looks like the game, so I can't really complain. Back, you got more texturing, and these are actually flexible. I do actually like this material a lot. But it's all pinless. I didn't even realize that. It's all pinless. So, let's get into articulation, shall we? It's got a neck joint and it looks up that far. Looks down that far. Side to side. Tilt. Got a butterfly joint. Shoulder joint that goes that far up. Bicep swivel. Double jointed elbows. Wrist swivel and a hinge that goes, remember, is it, okay, I don't want to break it off. Let me see it actually. Okay, it's in and out. It's just kind of, it's a little stiff. Tends to kind of pop out a little bit when I move the hand too much. But he's got, I don't know, what does he have under there? Like a dumbbell joint at the bottom and a kind of a diaphragm joint at the top, so he can crunch down that far, crunch back that far, go side to side and swivel. Legs kick out pretty much all the way. Kick forward about that far. Kick back about that far. Upper thigh swivel. Double jointed knees. Ankle goes down, goes up, and it has ankle pivot, and of course goes side to side. So, the only other comparison I can really make here, or that I want to make, is of course a Marvel character, and that is Cyclops. And they look good together. It does look very easy to do a Marvel versus Capcom display, especially with these two. And if you have some of those new gaming 2-packs and stuff like that, I'm sure they would also go great with the Jada toys. So yeah, that is pretty much it. Like I said, I don't know how frequent of reviews you're going to see of this line, because there's a lot of figures for the other lines that I'm mainly collecting. I mean, they have announced so much stuff for Marvel Legends, Star Wars, and DC McFarlane. That's why I'm kind of like, I don't know if I will. I'm going to try to get the characters that I specifically want to get. Let me guys know what you think of this review. Let me know what you guys' connection to Street Fighter. Is it strong? Is it kind of like me, where you've just kind of seen it throughout your life? Is it somewhere in the middle? Do you have a favorite character? But yeah, so yeah, that's kind of like my stance on it. It's kind of like, the G.I. Joe Transformers reviews were like, it might be every now and again, right? And again, this is probably partially due to the movie hype, I will admit. But as a side note, I am very familiar with Mortal Kombat. I don't want to... Oh, God, I shouldn't mention that, because I know that there's like a controversy kind of surrounding that I don't know if it was one of the actors or directors of Street Fighter, like, harped on about Mortal Kombat. I am not doing a rivalry thing at all. I don't give a shit about that. That's not what I'm saying. But I am more familiar with Mortal Kombat. I have thought about getting figures for Mortal Kombat. I just never pulled the trigger, so who knows? If you guys want to see that, let me know. I'll definitely do it. But I do hope to get more of this. Seems cool. Ken happens to be my favorite, and so that's why I got him. So the only other figures I saw at this local store that I went to was Dulcium. I think that's how you pronounce his name. And M. Bison. So it'll probably be one of those two next, unless I order online or something like that. So let me know what you think of the review. Like I said, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know it's a bit different, but hey, it's fun. So if you enjoyed this video, like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.